Hey guys, it's Daniel, and today I wanted to talk about what class I would remove if I had the choice in Team Fortress 2. So, the classes of TF2 are all brilliantly designed and brilliantly broken again by adding unlocks that change the way you can fundamentally play them entirely. With that being said, I want to base this video not so much on my emotions towards these classes, but rather look at things from more of a gameplay standpoint and how the entire pace of the game would be affected with the removal of a certain class, and also just to kind of pique my interest and curiosity about if I were to remove said class. As a matter of fact, if we were going to strictly talk about emotions, I would, without even hesitating, just remove Engineer. Like, and more specifically, the Gunslinger. As a matter of fact, Engineer can stay. I don't mind. I like him, but it's just the goddamn Gunslinger. It's so annoying. Anyways, the class would be Sniper. Yeah, I bet a lot of you probably expected this one. Now hear me out on this one, because I need to establish some sort of ground between I and the people who insta-melt me with the Insta 150 hit scan headshot gun. I have made a video in the past about Sniper in terms of his casual balance, but I've sort of changed my opinions and mindset about certain things regarding Sniper, and I want this video to show, or at least more or less demonstrate, the impact a class like Sniper actually has, especially once you look at him without him in the game. So for starters, I think it's safe to say that if there's one thing snipers are good at, it is breaking stalemates. When I think back on most upward last payload matches that I've played on, especially on offense, there's generally three common things that tend to break these stalemates. Either being an Uber, or a crits push from a medic, spy decloaking on the cart and ninja pushing it over, or it's usually a sniper getting a rapid amount of key picks in short succession, helping my team push and secure the game. Now, Sniper is one of the most powerful pick classes in the game. I mean, if you stack Scout, Sniper, and Spy next to each other, there is definitely, in terms of a casual setting, there's a lot working in the favor of the Sniper, at least under the terms that he's using the stock sniper rifle. I mean, he has a weapon that is capable of doing up to 450 damage at once, killing most enemies that are overhealed, and not under any other effects caused by unlocks. While Spy can do this similarly, having knives that can puncture enemies to death with just one stab to the back, Sniper can secure these picks from pretty much any position, and generally involves less setup than his French rival. You know, this is not to say that Spy is weaker, because honestly, I have no credible skill to back up any claim I can make about Spy, but I'll let the comments duke that one out and stay out of it. So anyways, Sniper is an extremely powerful class, and a Sniper who has mastered the aiming and positioning when tackling enemies or playing on certain maps is really what stands between an occasional pick class to a deadly team breaker. I have played against and with snipers of different skill level, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it yourself. Even with the wide range of unlocks that are available for each class to counter a sniper, snipers can still manage to absolutely pub stomp lobbies if players don't have the game sense or ability to counter him effectively. So with that being said, I guess the next thing to transition into would be actually removing him from the game and how that would hypothetically play out. Granted, I don't have any concrete footage of this, since by law every pub match must have a fourth of the team be Sniper at all times under 2 Fort Code 774. So instead, I'll share what I think would be more likely to happen. Dude, I swear to God, Discord. So instead, I'll share what I think would be more likely to happen in this instance. Removing Sniper would cause games either to move more quickly, or in some instances, cause the game to slow down a considerable amount. I say this with two scenarios in mind. Either the presence of no snipers allows players to be more aggressive and make bold decisions without the risk of getting punished to the face, or there is also the factor that teams with medics will be indefinitely exchanging Ubers more often and play with a lot lower risk of their push getting stopped in its tracks immediately from a sniper. Now, granted, this is a bit of a hypothetical scenario, and you know, this game has so many factors running in it, especially in a 12v12 where there's all this crap going on. So just kind of go along with this as I continue to kind of elaborate. Speaking of medics, I think that medics overall would likely have a much higher survivability rate, since one of the three big pick classes would be out of the question to potentially stuff any chance of an Uber push from forming. Now, this, in my opinion, would be one of the most impactful changes made to the flow of games, if anything, considering the medic is among, if not the most game-changing class when it comes to a match. His ability to overheal, Uber, and just generally keep teammates in the fight longer are what make him such a high valuable target. And removing what is arguably his biggest counter, at least from a distance, and in some cases up close depending on what the sniper is running, would certainly allow him to push into chokes more freely, with really one less major factor in the arena to harm him. And if we're talking classes that are going to have a lot more breathing room when it comes to merely existing on the map, I certainly think heavies will have a much easier time when it comes to moving around the map and overall just being able to play the class. As a matter of fact, really now, the only thing they have to worry about is scouts, spies, demos, engineers, and literally anyone else that gets a good first shot in on him. Way to go, Heavy. I'm just kidding, but in all seriousness, Heavy will just generally have a much easier time navigating the map and peeking more contested choke points where you will often find snipers looking. Now, it goes without being said that snipers can absolutely ruin heavies and can oftentimes force them into certain routes that may not be in their favor if the enemy sniper happens to be a sharpshooter. Now, in terms of the other two pick classes, Spy and Scout, I would definitely say that Spies would have one less priority to deal with, as well as not really having to worry about blowing his cover as much, since, you know, a lot of snipers in modern day TF2 tend to run the Razorback, which means if a Spy wants to end up having, you know, get a pick on him, he's probably gonna have to pull out his revolver and, you know, kind of duel him a little bit. But I think overall Spy wouldn't be impacted as much, you know, as usually the interaction between a Spy and a sniper anyways in most pubs usually happens at a close distance, and at that point it's just melee and shooting each other, and hopefully somebody exchanges a crit along that entire engagement. But anyways, it usually is really mostly dependent on the skill of each player anyways. Now, Scout would be a bit of a different story, and being predominantly a Scout player, I want to talk about how lethal Sniper can be to a Scout if you're not careful. I've played against snipers of all skill levels in pubs, you know, ranging from casual to, I've seen a few high-level competitive ones, at least I think, and I can safely say that just as quickly as Scout can shut down Sniper, the same can happen with a Sniper to a Scout. Now listen, I know, in the past I have had some choice words about Sniper, but at the end of the day, I can respect a person who can aim well enough to keep putting me back in the respawn room. With that being said, Scouts would just have a much easier time taking a more frontline approach in the battlefield, as they no longer really have to worry about any good sharpshooters either headshotting them instantly or taking a 150 body shot. Granted, you know, body shots wouldn't be lethal if Scouts could just get some overheal and casual, you know, right, pub medics? I'm just kidding, guys. I love you. Thank you for playing medic. But I think it would give the Scout a little more breathing room to take an aggressive approach if you do insist on flanking. Granted, this isn't much of a change, as a lot of the factors here would be dependent on the sniper skill once again. I know I bring that up a lot, and to be honest, that's just such a very high-level changing variable in this type of hypothetical situation that I couldn't really accurately pinpoint it. But I think it's still something worth mentioning, especially from personal experience, because I have faced numerous amounts of snipers of various skill levels, and that does have the biggest impact overall on, you know, and obviously you can say this about any class, but yeah. I also want to preface that the reason I chose Sniper of all classes once again was not out of hate. As a matter of fact, I would like to pay my respect to all you Sniper players out there. I personally cannot snipe all that good, and you guys, regardless of my opinion of the class, are great players, so keep it up. As I said, if this was based off of personal feelings, I would probably pick Engineer, if not anything else, but I did Sniper in particular because I think, you know, at face value, a lot of people do not consider how impactful Sniper can be, and once you remove him, there's a lot of factors that really almost passively or indirectly buff a lot of other classes. But yeah, guys, that's gonna about do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below what class you would remove if you had to and why. I'd be curious to get some different perspective, because certain people who play different classes would be more affected by a certain class than others, and perhaps I could get a different viewpoint from a different type of player. With that in mind, guys, let me know if you guys would be interested maybe in a series type like this. I think it would be pretty interesting to go through each class and just sort of talk about and analyze maybe what would be different if that class was removed hypothetically. Of course, I would like to thank you guys all for watching as always. If you could consider leaving a like on the video, that would help the channel and I out a tremendous amount. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the last video. You know, I'm trying to get back into this slowly so I don't burn myself out again, and also so that I don't pump out all the ideas I have at once, and then I'm just sitting here for the next 2 months wondering, you know, what's going on, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'll have a new video out tomorrow, because I am working on a second one, like, as I'm recording this. Actually, that doesn't make sense, but you get the idea. With that in mind, guys, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and as always, thank you, and have a good day.